Washington Times front page for Thursday, May 4th, 2023. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. The Kremlin has accused Ukraine of sending a pair of drones in a plot to kill Russian President Vladimir Putin, but Ukrainian officials have insisted they had nothing to do with it. Military reporter Mike Glenn reports video shows some kind of craft seeming to approach the Russian capital of Moscow before detonating in a loud flash over the roof of the Russian Senate building. Russian officials said Putin was not in the Kremlin at the time. A top advisor to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said it was more likely Russia was behind the drone incident as a pretext for launching large-scale attacks on Ukrainian cities to escalate its war. Oregon Senator Ron Wyden says that bills from his fellow Democrats to protect children online instead would make them less safe. Ryan Lovelace reports the Earn It Act and Stop CSAM Act aim to make technology platforms accountable for appearances of child sexual abuse material and are set for review in the Senate Judiciary Committee this week. Additionally, a bipartisan Senate coalition reintroduced the Kids Online Safety Act earlier this week. But Wyden says the acts would weaken encryption that protects children and families, despite the well-intentioned goal of stopping sexual abuse material of children. The senator claims it would make it easier to punish sites that use encryption to secure private conversations and personal devices. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas has faced a barrage of ethics allegations in recent weeks. In the wake of those multiple accusations, legal affairs reporter Alex Sawyer reports Senate Democrats convened a hearing this week to examine judicial ethics and pressed the court to adopt a strict code of ethics. ProPublica reported in April that Thomas didn't disclose he'd taken multiple luxury vacations with billionaire Harlan Crow, or that Crow had purchased his mother's home, even though she continued to reside there. All justices must file disclosure forms for review by the Judicial Conference Committee on Financial Disclosure and are urged to recuse themselves from certain cases, but there isn't a higher authority to police the matter. You can read all of these stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page. You can also find the entire lineup of Washington Times podcasts at WashingtonTimes.com/podcasts. President Biden wants to stay in office until he's 86, but a spate of recent struggles during public appearances have amplified concerns about his age. Jeff Murdoch reports Republicans have seized on the issue, releasing videos of the president's struggles to articulate his thoughts. The White House insists the GOP's criticisms are ineffective. They've also targeted Vice President Kamala Harris, Seth MacLachlan reports, who'd become president if Biden couldn't complete a second term. Former South Carolina governor and 2024 Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley has done so, saying it's a way to tap into voters' concerns about Biden's age, as well as Harris's political acumen. And finally, two Republicans claim that the FBI has been sitting on a report detailing a foreign scheme involving then-Vice President Biden to accept money in exchange for policy decisions. Stephen Dinan reports Iowa Senator Chuck Grassley and Kentucky Congressman James Comer claim their information is highly credible and came from whistleblowers. But they did not, however, say when the alleged dealing occurred, nor what country was involved. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. To search Washington Times in any major podcast app. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.